Thank you for joining us at 5D Events. My name is Eric Dadmehr, and I've lost track of how many conferences I've been doing with Saeed. My longtime friend of 30 years, I guess. I started in the 80s seeing this Persian guy at the conferences and asking him if he's Iranian and speaking Farsi with him. My dad's Iranian, my mom's Norwegian. And then later, I would see him at other conferences, and then we would laugh and say we already met each other, you know. And so this went on, and then I moved in '92. I moved to Sacramento, and I started working for the state for Medi-Cal, and I Googled 1111 because I'm born in 1111, and David's website came on, Alien Shift, which is really an awesome website, and he still keeps up, alienshift.com, and that's David. So 1111 popped up, and I was trying to find, we're here. What are the basic questions? Why am I here? Who am I? What are we doing here? What have they left on this planet for me to figure out why I am here? Well, the last of the 7 wonders of the world are the pyramids, and there must be a message somehow for me to tell me what happened, But they're not sharing this with us. They don't want us to know the truth. They want you to think the pyramids are 5,000 years old, okay, when they're really 12,500 years old, And we know from the water lines on the Sphinx, you can tell from the erosion, and you can see what's going on, and the stones, and they've been able to carbon date items in there and come up with it. So we have an ancient history. And there turn out to be sandal footprints with dinosaur prints, And so fill in the gap. What's missing here? It turns out we've been controlled. We've been dumbed down in many ways. We're not supposed to have a double helix structure. We're supposed to have many strands. And with these many strands, you have magical ability that you can shapeshift or be multidimensional, and we're divine beings having a human experience, being dumbed down on this prison planet. And there's an antenna on the moon that sends a signal probably from Saturn that is probably amplifying a signal from Saturn or something, and it's creating a net, a matrix, a web, and keeping us in. When I had my near-death experience showing off swimming in a pool underwater 5 times, I saw the sun, and I gave one big stroke, and my spirit went right into the sun. And I saw my dead relatives and animals and my previous lives, and I remembered each situation. But they were so proud of me, but they told me I had to go back to finish what I had to do. But that's what they always tell people. And I was fooled or tricked to go back. We're not supposed to keep reincarnating and coming back in this body. We're supposed to go out and be in the universe and travel. So we're being held in this prison planet with these reptilians on the planet, and we're their slaves. The best slaves don't know it and think they are free. Okay, that's your best slave. When you think they're free, they say, "Oh no, I'm free. I'm going to go on a cruise and go here." He's charging it, and who's when they asked me to work for the CIA, there were vice presidents of Citibank, They were working for the, that's how they hide, So what do we do? How do we battle this? How do we wake ourselves up? And how do we stay healthy? How do we wake up our latent powers? How do we get more strands of DNA? And these are questions that I am constantly asking and talking to people in high places. And what I love about my friendship with David is because there are many good things about it, even though you see us arguing and fighting and he frustrates me by being off schedule, is that we have to, I've met all these other speakers and whistleblowers, and they share this information with me because growing up and going to school, there's something that the teachers recognize in me to pull me aside and tell me, hey, taxes they never, they tell me about the taxes and the 16th Amendment not being ratified, and, they tell me the truth about how things really work. So you always know that the books have to be rewritten. The history books are not telling you the truth that you learn in school about what's really going on. So with the same idea and energy, you have to think about that for your food and what food you're taking and what water we're drinking and where we're going and what we put into our body, because health and nutrition starts with oral health, your teeth, and your gut. It turns out your gut and your teeth are 80% of your health issues. There's 3 miles of dental tubular bacteria in each tooth. So, and then there's chemtrails. I have a chem flu. I'm coughing. It's not, I'm like, like that, and it's terrible. But I know it's not a cold or a flu. I know it's not allergies. People say, oh, it's just allergies, Well, I have the same cough, but I don't have allergies, But I know that in the chemtrails, we have barium, strontium, nanoaluminum, which isn't human. Who can get nanoaluminum? Only government, only high government places. So who are the companies spraying? Dynomat and General Electric. Excuse me. Excuse me for the people I'm streaming to coughing in the microphone. But so it turns out when you take these things into consideration, you build, it's not good. People, see, what do they want you to do? Why do they do this? Well, we have the health industry. It's a multi-gazillion dollar health industry. Why do they call it health? They don't care about your health. It's a death industry, but they don't want you to die. They just want you to be really sick until you pay all your money, and wipe out your insurance, and then it's okay for you to die, But it's terrible. You have to take responsibility for your own health. I don't go to the doctor. My doctor wants to meet me. And I told him, I'm not sick. He wants me to come in for some vaccinations. And it's like, vaccinations. Let's talk about vaccinations. The Zika virus is on sale at atcc.org. You can buy the Zika virus, owned by the Rockefeller family since 1947, for $516 freeze-dried, or $354 frozen. And if they paid me enough where I work in the state and given me a raise, the last decade, I would have probably bought some and said, here it is, But I told the chief, I said, hey, you can buy the Zika virus, huh? So I don't believe in conspiracies, and I said, you're the conspiracy man. You're the chief. You're supposed to know these things. I'm just sharing the information with you. This is the website. Go to it. Don't believe anything I say. Just like I tell the people at the conferences, please don't believe. I get hecklers. I say, don't believe anything I'm saying. I'm giving you the answers. You're supposed to go do the homework to find out what I'm saying is true. It's called AT, like at, cc.org. And then there's a little search window on the right. You type in Zika virus, and it'll pop up. You know what's very interesting? I looked at it closely, and because I'm into numerology and numbers, and I have a memory for a lot of these different things, I noticed they're calling it RX84. And I see my friend Mike's head pop up, of course, but REX84 is what they were doing, is like the Agenda 21. The FEMA camps, how it tied into, type in Rex84 and see what I'm saying, okay? Because that's another topic of discussion. I'm the guy who gave Jesse Ventura the FEMA camp information when I was working at Small Business Administration, and I was in charge of accountable property, and I said, what do we have these prisons for, these empty prisons? What's a civilian inmate handbook? Why do we have these prisons? So my sweet boss asked the higher-ups, and they machine-gunned her son. They didn't steal his money or anything that he'd gotten from the Wells Fargo ATM at Howe Avenue and Fair Oaks Boulevard in Sacramento. but he just died in his car. They machine gun. It was a message. And I went to the funeral, and I apologized to her. I said, you know, she looked at me, and she said, just take care of yourself, Eric, you know. And my dad wants, you know, my dad loves me, and he wants me to be shut up, but I learned from my dad. It's a crime to be silent. And I watched him speak out growing up, and street fight in Iran and whatever for the good guy, stand up. And my grandfather, my Iranian grandfather was a Supreme Court judge, and he was a good guy. And he was also a architect, and they taught me a lot of things and about principles and morals. And so I'm happy to tell you the truth, and I'm fearless because I've had a near-death experience, and I'm not going to be fooled again. Next time I hope they take me out because I'm not coming back. I'm going to keep going. And like Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'll be more powerful, you know, because I don't think they took him out. Remember, he disappeared when the robe just went down. So I want you to listen to, you know, the Zika virus. So what? They're putting in the Tdap vaccination in Brazil. They give to pregnant women. Everybody who got the Zika virus had the pregnancy shot, okay? And I'm calling it a no-brainer. And that's kind of a bad pun because microcephaly shrinks the brain and it makes it no-brainer. But it is a no-brainer because the Zika virus mosquito travels 1,000 yards its whole lifetime. How is that mosquito going to come here? They're saying, oh, it's coming here now. How in the world is it coming here? It travels 1,000 yards its whole life, okay? Well, it turns out Bill Gates has a GMO mosquito, you know, and that's what they're talking about. It's a different, you know, so when I kill a mosquito, I always look and see, feel if it's you know, a drone mosquito or not when I kill him, you know. It's a mosquito that's not natural. It's one that they've made. It's like an expensive small drone that can infect you. Take your DNA sample, put in. See, there's a lot more things than just mercury and cancerous things from other animals in there. You know what's another interesting thing beside this RX-84 is they have the rhesus monkey in there. And the rhesus monkey are the monkeys. See, when the Anunnaki chose, we were genetically tampered with. I keep backstepping because you have to know things. I do. Hang with me and talk to me, ask me afterwards. And why I keep backstepping is because to me it's all linked up and I have to explain everything. I have to explain that I was talking about the Anunnaki, and when you look at our mitochondrial DNA, the science of it, when you look at our own DNA, monkeys have 48 chromosomes, we have 46. We have those 2 extra chromosomes fused in our second and third chromosomes, which doesn't occur naturally. Viruses don't jump species. They fuse the rhesus monkeys into us on our second and third chromosome. Why? Because these monkeys looked at each other when they had sex. They didn't do it doggy style. They had compassion. They hugged each other and this compassion and love was different to them, okay? They didn't understand it because they're reptilian. They had these small brains. We have the mammalian large brains, which is love and compassion, like the whales and dolphins. Dolphins have sex and play all the time. Okay, what else is there? You know? So to me, that's the most intelligent thing on the planet. And what would you rather be doing? You know? So they picked these monkeys because they didn't understand it, but that's what they need to learn from us. They have controlled and taken over every chakra where the spirit and body come together except the heart chakra. Our heart chakra is so powerful that, you know, like this, that's where The Secret got it wrong. They say, oh, think positive and, you know, no, it's feel positive from the heart because the heart energy is 100,000 times more powerful than the brain. And it reverberates out to beyond the edges of the universe. So they can't control this heart chakra, and we can transmute everything. If my name Dadmehr means giver of love and knowledge, and I can love something to death, you know, And I've transmuted a chip when I got chipped. That's another story. Into a heart shape. And it doesn't work. I also took a neodymium magnet and screwed it up just in case. But I was going to have it removed by Dr. Lear, and then they killed him. So I'll have somebody else take it out, but I could stay in too. And I don't mind, because I've done what I needed to do. So it's important to understand all these different levels. So you have this DNA that's not human, and that's the key, is that's what you have to look at, what's being done. Why do they have triple helix structure and us only 2? Well, it's because control. And how do we correct all this? Well, you get this soccer bit, SOCKERBIT.com, and it's called the Salmaik, SALMAIK. And what's really great about this is it corrects your spiral in the DNA. And they're not telling you that there's some good alien stuff in there that does this. And because we are being attacked with smart meters, Saeed mentioned Dr. Raiuni Kilda, who was the chief medical officer of Finland. And then she moved to Norway, which is a NATO country, because Finland isn't. And when she lived in Norway for 20 years, she was talking about health and nutrition, and then she was about to come out with her first book in English, and her first book in English was about psychotronic weapons, and they took her out because they don't want this out there. Your phones have 20 different antennas. I don't have a smartphone. I almost did and got tricked, but the smartphones have about 20 different antennas that trigger things in you, make you pissed off on purpose, because there's the jinn, the black goo, the archons that live on our negative vibration energy. They want to make us mad. Yes? They took her out. She's dead. They bombarded her. Well, it's been a couple years now. You haven't talked to her for a while. And I loved her. She was my friend too. And I met her through David and interviewed her on Skype. She's a wonderful lady. But she did get her information to this French guy, and I'm looking forward to find the book published somehow anyway, come out, about psychotronic weapons. But that's the word. Anytime one of my friends that I work with talks about psychotronic weapons, they get messed with. Their show goes blank. All their lines go dead. Yes?
Do you know why they've been taking out all the alternative doctors since July?
I do, and that's the N-Nagalese. They figured out the key of the cancer. And because cancer is a multi-billion, gazillion-dollar industry, they make the cures illegal. Cancer, it's a cancer bullshit. I wanted to cure cancer.
Do you know who's killing them?
Actually, I probably even have their addresses. And I hate to say that, but yeah, I do. Okay. And because I didn't want to play that game and be on that team, okay? And I don't agree with these kind of things. And so, I stand here and speaking boldly, because I have love and compassion, and I care about people, humanity.
I just heard about Nagalese from my brother, who's an alternative doctor. And
right.
He's been working with Dr. Norm Shealy at Harvard, who's on
Harvard. At Harvard. I'm sorry.
Norm Shealy, you must know who he is, and he's onto this.
Yeah. Well, God bless his soul. I hope they don't take him out too. Okay.
Well, he's
he's
yeah,
he works with Harvard, and I know.
But he's talking about
I know. In America, it's illegal.
Talking about what you're saying.
I know. That's good. That's good. A lot of doctors are. They're stepping up.
What they're saying is that this Nagalese in the system is something that is suppressing your ability to absorb and
Right.
And use vitamin D.
Exactly, and that's what I'm getting to. That's a perfect segue, because when you look at on my Facebook, there's a post on vitamin D3 that I put. Please friend me on Facebook if you haven't. My Facebook is Eric Dadmehr, and well, that's it. Is the DADMEHR, And see, everything attaches, Dadmehr, Eric Dadmehr. Please friend me on Facebook. I don't have my 5,000. I'm far from it, and I'm happy to share and tell you. And are you telling me how many minutes? Okay.
I was just laughing on Facebook.
Exactly, because, like my page, Eric the Healer. Why is it so hard to get likes on a page? Eric the Healer. I don't know. I have a couple hundred now, maybe.
Facebook controls you.
Facebook controls me. It's fine. I hope they learn something. One time they loved my picture of this UFO I put on that was on 9/11. UFOs on 9/11. But let's get back to the D3. The D3 is very important to take because the D3, everything is tacking. The aluminum is the nano aluminum. It's even more. Nano is a fine particle. Now it's smart dust, and it's even finer, and it kills. The aluminum is killing your vitamin D. You're seeing kids fall and breaking many bones. Their bone density is being messed with, and many people are breaking their hip bone. The largest bone in their body. And how do you break your femur? And on just a simple fall, or a hip. Hip bone or whatever. So you take the D3, but buy a high quality one, because when I go to these cheap grocery stores, and I look at the oils that are in there, what are the most genetically modified oils? Corn, wheat, soy, and canola, rapeseed. And they're putting those oils in there. So you think you're taking something good, and these things are ripping holes in your gut and creating other problems. See? So you have to buy like a Country Life or a high quality D3, and because the D3 is, you need the calcium. You do. I like Country Life. I take Country Life. I used to work at Elliott's, the first health food store in Sacramento, and I learned a lot. They paid me to go to school and learn. I loved it. People would come and show me a body part and hug me, and I wouldn't know what I did or said, but they were really happy and that it worked. So it's important to understand health and nutrition, because if you're not healthy, you can't take care of others around you. It starts with you. If you don't love yourself and feel comfortable with yourself, you can't be with other people. Yes?
So is that salmonella?
Yes, salmiac. Yes. No, it isn't. It's something very special that I just learned about recently. There's two things. This one is really important because it corrects your DNA, which they're attacking. Okay? It's called salmac, S-A-L-M-A-I-K. And you buy it at Soccer Bit. But it's S-O-C-K, like sock, and then ERBIT.com. And then buy 4 pounds, because he was saying it's always $10 for shipping. So he's saying don't just buy 1 pound, because it's not cost effective. Buy 4 pounds, it lasts you 1 month. So it's 12 times 4. Buy 48 pounds for a year. It corrects your DNA, and it turns your DNA on, basically. Yes, they make the candies. You eat the candy. Buy the lozenges with the salmiac in it. That's why this candy that they're giving to the kids and everything, the Swedish people are Scandinavian. They love people. Scandinavians love people. So kids eat candy. And the kids are our future. So doesn't it make sense to put it in a lozenge and a candy in the Swedish candy shop? Yes.
What exactly is salmiac? Is it a vitamin?
I'm learning this just like you.
One quick thing, she's at 3, okay?
She's at 3. Good. In 7 minutes. Okay. Anybody? I'm here the whole time, and I want to give them 5 minutes to turn off and turn on for Tracy, because I want to get back on track, and I love Tracy, and I don't want to. And she has a lot of important information to connect you with connections and get your business going. She's the turbo power boost. Yes.
You do know they're spraying us because the Earth is moving into a position that's non-sustainable atmospherically. You understand that it's not intentionally malicious. They are killing us, but it's because we're about ready to move into a geocosmic position that is not sustainable.
And then before that was it was protecting us from the rays of the sun because it didn't want. And then before that, it was. They always have some excuse.
No, but we are moving scientifically
Yeah.
into a place in the universe that will not
We are.
sustain life.
Well,
Who says?
I,
Evidence, all it's real, and they know. It's
Well-
they're just not disclosing to us. And I've been in the government 20 years. They
Yeah.
know. They're not disclosing.
Yeah.
They're not
I know.
disclosing.
I'm too, and I work too, and I hear their stories, and I understand what you're saying.
The harmonic convergence, it is happening.
Read.
Jose Arguelles. We
yeah.
are moving the earth.
I met Jose Arguelles.
He was my doctoral advisor.
Yeah.
The earth is
I went to UCLA.
unsustainable. So instead of
Right.
they're not wrong in trying to save
Right.
us, but they're killing us in the process of doing it.
Is it moving off of its axis?
Yes.
It's true, and we are traveling. I can't deny any of that.
Thanks,
But
sorry for interrupting.
no. I'm open-minded to all these. Being Eric the healer and knowing all these different speakers, you know the different tangents I get and what I have to deal with and who's a spook and who's a, come on.
We don't have too much time left.
Well, you know what? It's so simple a child can understand between good and evil. It's as simple as holding the love vibration in your heart.
I mean, also, we are changing. The earth is changing.
Everything is changing.
We're moving into other dimensions also. And
Yeah.
there are too many seers and prophets and psychics who see a brilliant, beautiful, dynamic, healthy future for us.
Mhm.
That I mean, I would never buy that we have no time left and that we're moving into a place.
You should become a scientist.
Well, I wanted to be a doctor, and it wasn't about that. I didn't want to, did you have that one last final?
Yeah, for that I was going to say the heart's. I heard that the heart's tilt is at the same degree of angle as the Earth's tilt. So.
We're going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about this with other speakers with Planet X, but my closing statement of health and nutrition is: don't drink sodas. Don't drink sodas. Don't chew gum. Every gum has aspartame. Look for the dyes. Don't do the oils. If I had to drive down here, there's no Chipotle. They're attacking Chipotle because they don't want GMOs in their food. So it's hard to go out of your way to buy the organic food. Make it for yourself. Think ahead. Pack a lunch. Bring your own stuff. And empower yourself. Realize that we're our own worst enemies, and what we put in our mouth is very important. Learn about oil pulling. Pull the oil out of your teeth, the bacteria, this lipid base out of your teeth, and spit it out. How I made oil pulling better is spit it out 4 times. Instead of doing it once for 20 minutes, spit it out 4 times every 5 minutes in one setting. Okay? So you spit it in the garbage can. Use coconut oil. Learn about oil pulling on YouTube. There's many videos. But I'm going to make a good one because there's no good one on there that I really liked. Okay? I haven't found one yet. But there's 3 miles of bacteria in every tooth, and you're ingesting this bacteria all day. It turns out whatever side you have a root canal on, that's the side you're going to get breast cancer on. They're not telling you that yet, but I'm telling you. And you're ingesting all this poison. It's screwing up your face and body and heart. And so you take out the poisons. Don't tell your sister or friends, and watch them tell you, wow, what are you doing? You shine. What's so different? And I told this twin girl, her sister's going to ask her, and sure enough, she did. And she said, wow, Eric said you would ask me what I'm doing, and it really works well. And then pay attention to your gut. Everybody has candida. You have to kill this virus, this fungus, candida. It's from eating grains. When you drink alcohol, they use grains that weren't good enough for food to make it. And it's giving you, it makes them smell, yeasty candida smell. My dogs lick their paws. They get hot spots if they have wheat flour. You can smell it. Then as they get more and more wheat flour, my wife pisses me off and puts cat treats on the floor for the dogs to eat, and then it makes their skins fold. It looks like a Shar-Pei. When it gets more and more worse, and they have to lick their paws or they can't step on them. You can smell it. Just pick up their paws and smell it. So cut the grains out.
What about nutritional yeast?
Sourdough is good. Sourdough is good for you. fermented sourdough, and sprouted wheat. Sprouted, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, being alkaline and getting oxygen. Cancer hates alkalinity and it hates oxygen. But I'll talk more about all these things, and just to stay on track, because we have 3 o'clock right now this second. I'm so sorry, Tracy.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I had to pack a lot in a short time, but I'm here. I'll be talking forever, hopefully.